Hi, OJ. Have you ever loved someone so much you gave them a piece of your body? I did. I gave him my kidney. Please, don't rush to judge me. Not yet. Let me take you through the corridors of my pain, step by step, until you see how far betrayal can stretch the soul of a woman who once loved blindly. My name is Cynthia. I'm 34 years old. And if you'd ask anyone who knew me years ago, they will tell you, Cynthia, she's the type who would give you the clothes off her back. A real woman of God. A pillar of her home. And they'll be right. I married my husband when I was just 26. He was the first man I ever loved. The kind of man whose smiles make you forget all your problems. Tall, funny, responsible, or at least he was in the beginning. We didn't have much, but we built from scratch. A one-bedroom apartment, shared toothbrushes, night prayers holding hands. That was our life, simple, real. I was with him when he lost his job. I supported him through school. When he got his first breakthrough in business, we celebrate with cheap wine and Indomie. We were best friends, lovers, teammates, and when I gave birth to our first child, it felt like heaven touched earth. We had 2 kids over 8 years of marriage, 2 beautiful little boys. And through it all, the storms, I stood by him. Until the day I thought I was about to lose him forever. It started slowly. Fatigue, loss of appetite, nausea. I thought it was stress, OJ. He thought so too. But when he collapsed on the floor one night while playing with our boys, I knew something was terribly wrong. Kidney failure, chronic, stage 4. OJ, I remember sitting in the cold hospital room with the doctor as he broke the news. My husband, my whole world, would need a transplant. Dialysis wasn't working. His condition was getting worse by the week. His family broke down. His mother was wailing at the hospital like she had already buried him. His father became unusually quiet. Everyone was running tests to see if they could donate. Days passed. One by one, results came in. No match. I had this sinking feeling in my chest. Then the doctors told me that, shockingly, I was a match. Me. I sat without information for 2 nights, sleepless, conflicted. I thought of our boys. I thought of our journey. I thought of the man I said till death to us parts. And then his family came begging me. Begging, OJ. His mom held my legs. His father collapsed his hands like he was praying. They said, Cynthia, please, you are the only hope. My own children, innocent and unaware, were asking why daddy wasn't coming home anymore. I couldn't take it anymore. I signed the forms. The surgery was successful. They called it a miracle. The doctor said my kidney took well in his body. And even though my recovery was brutal, the pain, the weakness, the fatigue, I was happy. He lived. He was grateful, or so it seemed. He knelt beside me by the hospital bed, held my hands with tears in his eyes, and whispered, "You gave me life. See, I will never forget this. I will protect you forever." OJ, if only I knew how temporary that forever would be. The next 6 months felt like paradise. I won't lie. He changed, or rather, he became the man I had always prayed for. Every Friday, he would bring me flowers, random lunch deliveries, surprises at the gate, trips to Ebri just to see the view. Even in bed, he was tender again, and the kids, he would pick them up from school and come home with toys and ice cream. For a moment, I thought maybe pain had taught him gratitude. Maybe the surgery deepened our bond. I was wrong, OJ. So terribly wrong. One random Thursday, I collapsed while doing laundry. I remember just seeing the floor rise up to meet me, and that was it. Blackout. When I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital room, tubes, beeping machines. I turned and saw my younger sister sitting beside me, holding my hand. She had this angry look on her face. I asked about my husband. OJ, she told me he hadn't even come to the hospital. I was shocked. I called him. He didn't answer. When she finally reached him, she told him I had collapsed. You know what he said? Tell her I'm busy. I'll check on her when I'm done. That whole day, not a call, not a text, nothing. I defended him, said maybe he had an emergency. Maybe he was panicking. But my sister, she looked at me and said something I'll never forget. Pretend you'll be unwell again one day and see if your savior even cares that you exist. That night, I cried silently. I was discharged the next day, and guess what? I came home and met him watching football, drinking juice, legs crossed on the sofa, like nothing had happened. When I asked him why he didn't come, he looked at me and said, "Why are you acting like you are dying? You were just tired." He got angry, left the house. OJ, that's when my healing turned into horror. I decided to test what my sister had said. I began acting weak, low energy, no makeup, no smiles, no sex, no care, just to see something. And I saw everything. He started coming home late, started shouting over nonsense, even water being too hot, started insulting me in front of our kids. He told his mother that I had become lazy and cold. I wasn't the woman he married anymore. One day, he left and didn't come back until the next morning. No explanation, no apology. I asked him if he was cheating. He smiled and said, "You are too sick to handle the truth." I was losing him, and worse, I was losing me, until the bombshell dropped. I remember the day so clearly. A sunny Saturday, I was in the kitchen when I heard voices at the gate. My husband, his parents, and a strange woman in high heels. I walked out to meet them, confused but still polite. His father looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Cynthia, your husband says you are too weak to perform your duties, so we found someone to help. This is Ajua, your co-wife." I felt my earring. My knees nearly gave way. His mother added, "Don't be angry. It's for your own good. She will cook. She will satisfy him at night. She will help him with the children." They said it's like they were offering me a gift. I walked away. I needed to breathe. I entered the bedroom, and do you know what followed me? That girl, that Ajua, with my mother-in-law behind her. She looked around the room and said, "This will be your bedroom." Then she turned to me and smiled, that evil smile, and said, "See, you can move to the guest house." OJ, something inside me broke that day. Something that kindness could never repair. And that's when the new Cynthia was born. I started planning my revenge. Slowly, quietly, while they thought I was mourning, I was calculating. I started slipping tiny amounts of substances into his meal. Hormonal blockers, drugs that interfere with kidney function. Nothing traceable. Just enough to make his body fight itself. It started working. He began to complain of weakness again. Swelling, fatigue. I smiled sweetly and made him tea. He went back to the hospital and the doctors were confused. I know exactly what I'm doing, OJ. They say I'm evil, but evil was what they handed me when they chose a co-wife over a queen who gave him life. This time, when his body gives in, I'll watch. Let Ajua give him hers. Let his mother donate. But me, I'm done. I'm not a donor anymore. When he begs, I'll smile and say, I gave you my life, and now I'm taking it back. And then I'll divorce him. Take half his property. Take full custody of my children and make sure, oh yes, OJ, make sure that his manhood never rises again. I've already started slipping that into his food too. Let him lie beside Ajua in shame. Let him feel the humiliation I felt. Let him understand what it means to lose everything. Because I lost everything. My body, my mind, my soul, all for him. Now, I'm reclaiming it all. And OJ, I have no regrets. This is your anonymous OJ. And if you are new here, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And tell somebody about your anonymous OJ. I'll see you in our next confession.